This film tells the story of Nick Lowell, who was imprisoned in Japan in 1954. He's a former American soldier sentenced to 10 years in jail. In the opening scene, Nick is cleaning the prison's bathroom area. Shortly after, 5 burly tattooed men come out of the bathroom, staring at him provocatively. After they leave, Nick enters the bathroom and finds another man hanging with his hands tied up. Nick shouts for the guards as he tries to save the man. Another inmate arrives and helps Nick lower the man. Strangely, Nick's act of saving the man from hanging doesn't receive any praise. Soon after, a group of prison guards pulls Nick and the inmate who helped him aside and beats them. The head prison guard mentions that he received a letter from the man who was about to hang himself, stating that a gang member would be sent out of prison. Nick doesn't understand Japanese, so he doesn't know what the guards are saying. The head guard becomes increasingly irritable and eventually orders Nick to be confined in a solitary cell. Inside the cell, it turns out Nick is sharing the space with the man he had saved from hanging earlier. The man introduces himself as Kiyoshi, a member of the Yakuza clan, Shiromatsu. Kiyoshi then seeks Nick's help and tells him about an escape plan. Kiyoshi plans to fake a suicide attempt so that the guards will send him to the hospital. At the hospital, a Shiromatsu member will come to help Kiyoshi escape. In return for this help, Kiyoshi promises that if Nick manages to escape, the brothers in the Shiromatsu will help him in the future. The plan is set. While the prisoners are mining around the prison area, Nick finds a rock. Later, he sharpens the rock so that Kiyoshi can use it for his plan. A few days later, back in the solitary cell, Kiyoshi prepares to stab himself with the sharpened rock and asks Nick to make sure he survives.
I need you to keep me from dying.
And to call the guards to save him. The plan goes well. Seeing Kiyoshi's condition, the guards panic and raise the alarm. Long story short, Nick manages to get released earlier than his original sentence. He cuts his hair, shaves his beard, and leaves prison with a fresh appearance. A man and a car are waiting for Nick outside the prison, ready to take him to the Shiromatsu headquarters in Osaka. Upon arrival, Nick is welcomed and thanked for his help by the Shiromatsu clan officials. One of the Shiromatsu leaders then offers him a job dealing with an American. Nick agrees to take the job. That evening, after a Shiromatsu member gives Nick money to rent a hotel, Nick heads to a gambling area and a bar. At the bar, Nick meets a beautiful Japanese woman who immediately catches his attention, so he tips her generously. The next day, Kiyoshi takes Nick to a factory to meet an American named Anthony Panetti. Nick's job is to negotiate with Panetti regarding his metal factory and business, as he previously rejected Shiromatsu's proposal. Panetti had received a negotiation offer from another gang clan, Shizu from Kobe, using an American negotiator. Panetti is not welcoming of Nick's arrival. Instead, he criticizes Japanese culture and the Yakuza, making it clear that he won't sell the factory's metal at a lower price than what Shiromatsu offered.
And now, you can get the fuck out of my office.
Nick realizes that words alone won't make the negotiations smooth, so he grabs a typewriter and smashes Panetti's head, forcing him into silence and agreement with Shiromatsu's proposal. After the successful completion of his first job, Shiromatsu officials take Nick to a bar, including Kiyoshi. However, while they are drinking, the Seizu clan shows up to confront them about what they did to Panetti. A Shizu clan member continues to provoke Nick until his anger is ignited, and he smashes a bottle over his head. The Shiromatsu members quickly take action, pointing guns at the Shizu, who then decide to abandon their intent to avenge Nick's actions and leave the bar. Nick's behavior at the bar catches Shiromatsu's attention, earning Kiyoshi's favor as well. Kiyoshi then gives Nick a luxurious apartment and expresses his willingness to join the Shiromatsu Yakuza clan. Kiyoshi later invites Nick to finish a job at one of their bars where the owner is trying to take over from Shiromatsu. When negotiations fail again, Nick slashes the bar owner's throat, and Kiyoshi finishes him off with a stab. After completing the task, Kiyoshi invites Nick to a nightclub owned by the Shiromatsu clan. Here, the beautiful woman Nick had seen at the bar before is dancing with some men. Nick continues to watch this petite Japanese woman. Kiyoshi then pulls her away from the dance floor and scolds her. He's worried that Shizu clan members might bring weapons to the nightclub, putting her in harm's way. After that, Kiyoshi asks Nick to help take the woman home, revealing that she is Kiyoshi's sister, Miyu. Nick follows the order, but when he arrives at Miyu's doorstep, she teases him to come inside.
You want to come inside?
Yes.
They end up becoming intimate, and Nick notices a Yakuza tattoo on Miyu's back. The next day, things take a turn when Kiyoshi calls Nick for a new assignment. He asks him to purchase weapons from an American soldier for the mission. Kiyoshi explains that the soldier must not know that Nick and this purchase are connected to the Shiromatsu clan. So, Nick has to carry out this task alone. Nick then heads to the docks, where he's supposed to meet the American soldier for the weapons trade. Instead of finding the soldier, he discovers a dead body, and soon after the Seizu clan arrives. The clan attempts to stop the weapon trade and rob Nick of his money. However, since Nick had hidden the money in his car earlier, the Seizu members can't find it, which infuriates them, leading them to decide to kill him. One of the Seizu members is ordered to kill Nick and threatens him to kneel. Initially, Nick complies with the command, but he quickly turns the tables using his skills, attacking the Seizu clan and killing 2 of their members. The Shiromatsu leader learns of the chaos at the docks. He immediately gathers all the clan members, including Nick and Kiyoshi. The Shiromatsu leader suspects that there's a traitor who leaked the plan to purchase weapons. However, Kiyoshi assures that the $2 million Nick brought is safe since it was hidden. Moreover, the Shiromatsu leader accuses Nick of making a mistake by killing 2 Seizu members, which could potentially spark a gang war. To prevent this, the Shiromatsu leader orders Nick to cut off 2 of his fingers as an apology. Upon hearing this, Kiyoshi pleads with the Shiromatsu leader to allow him to cut off his own fingers, feeling guilty about involving Nick. The Shiromatsu leader agrees, and then he sends the severed fingers of both Nick and Kiyoshi to the Seizu clan as an apology for the deaths of their 2 members. The scene then shifts to a conversation between Nick and the Shiromatsu leader in a car. Their conversation reveals that the Shiromatsu leader, who is also Kiyoshi's stepfather, suspects that there is a Seizu spy within their clan. Then, the Shiromatsu leader took Nick to a ceremony where he was formally welcomed and officially inducted as a member of the Shiromatsu clan. Later that evening, as they celebrate Nick's induction, Nick steps out of the bar to talk with Kiyoshi. Nick informs Kiyoshi about his relationship with Miyu, which initially did not have Kiyoshi's approval. Kiyoshi doesn't want his sister to marry into the Yakuza, as he fears for her safety. But Nick insists, vowing that no matter what happens, he will protect Miyu. After learning that Nick and Miyu have been intimate, Kiyoshi finally consents to their relationship and even congratulates Nick, as it means they are now brothers. Having been officially accepted into the Shiromatsu clan as a Yakuza member and gaining Kiyoshi's approval, Nick decides to get a tattoo on his back matching Miyu's. As Nick gets the tattoo, Miyu stays by his side, explaining the significance of the Yakuza's unique body art. In the following days, Nick fully immerses himself in the Yakuza lifestyle. One day, while riding a train with Miyu, Nick spots a Seizu member who had previously tried to kill him at the docks. The scene then shifts to the Seizu group arriving at the Shiromatsu clan headquarters. They plan to propose a business deal, but the Shiromatsu leader feels insulted because Seizu didn't bring their leader, instead sending someone considered very young. Despite the leader's display of disappointment, an officer named Orochi from the Shiromatsu clan persuades him to accept the business proposal, which the Shiromatsu leader immediately rejects. That night, while Orochi and Kiyoshi are drinking, Orochi expresses his frustration that the Shiromatsu leader didn't heed his advice. Kiyoshi had warned him, but it seems Orochi has already been consumed by his anger. This is especially evident when Orochi returns home, where the Shiromatsu leader shows irritation and refuses to see him. Orochi leaves the bar to meet Miyu. It turns out that Miyu and Orochi had a romantic relationship in the past, and this time he tries to rekindle it, but she firmly rejects him. Orochi's anger reaches its peak, and in a fit of rage, he slaps her while attempting to harass her. The scene then shifts to a meeting between the Shiromatsu and Seizu clans at a sumo match. This time, the Seizu chairman himself approaches the Shiromatsu leader with another proposal. This is not a business proposal, but an invitation for the Shiromatsu leader to retire and allow his clan to merge with Seizu. The Shiromatsu leader rejects the offer, considering it an insult. He reminds the Seizu chairman that the Shiromatsu clan are wolves, not dogs confined within a fence. Before leaving, he warns the Seizu chairman to be careful on his way back to Kobe. Meanwhile, an American man suddenly greets Nick on his way home. The man is Paulie Bowers, an American soldier and Nick's partner who is on leave. Bowers seems surprised but glad to see Nick, so Nick feels obliged to accompany him. However, during their conversation, Bowers threatens to report Nick, revealing that Nick faked his own death to avoid a court-martial. Nick quickly thinks on his feet and invites him to his home. At home, Nick offers Bowers a drink, but then stabs him in the neck with a small knife, killing him. Nick then heads to Miyu's house. When Miyu opens the door, Nick is shocked to see the bruise on her face. Angrily, he urges Miyu to tell him who hurt her. She refuses to say, but she reveals that she is pregnant with Nick's child. Surprisingly, she asks him to leave. Nick then leaves Miyu's house and goes to Kiyoshi's home to tell him about Miyu's pregnancy. Nick tells Kiyoshi that if Kiyoshi wants, he will leave the Shiromatsu clan. Kiyoshi isn't angry, but instead invites Nick into the house. He then presents Nick with 2 swords called daisho, explaining that the daisho belonged to Kiyoshi's father, one for taking lives, the other for ending one's own. Kiyoshi then says that he has looked after Miyu since she was young, and from now on, he entrusts that responsibility to Nick. Nick picks up one of the daisho swords and asks for help in burying Bowers' body. On the other hand, at the Seizu headquarters, Orochi can be seen talking to the clan leader. It is revealed that Orochi has betrayed the Shiromatsu and is planning to destroy the clan. The next day, the Shiromatsu leader, accompanied by Kiyoshi and Nick, visits a tailor shop. When the leader doesn't emerge from the fitting room, Nick follows and discovers a tailor shop employee strangling the leader. Nick tries to save him, but Kiyoshi, who comes in and witnesses the scene, shoots the employee dead. They rush to the car, but before they can escape, members of the Seizu clan ambush them. Nick and Kiyoshi fight back while trying to protect the leader. During the clash, a Seizu clan member shoots and kills Kiyoshi. Nick and the leader manage to escape and return to their base, where they gather all the remaining clan members. The leader reveals that there were Seizu clan members in the car that escorted them to the tailor shop, indicating a traitor within the Shiromatsu clan. They decide to seek revenge and declare war on the Seizu clan. Meanwhile, when Nick informs Miyu of Kiyoshi's death, she becomes hysterical. Nick and the remaining Shiromatsu members begin systematically eliminating Seizu clan members. After Nick successfully intimidates a high-ranking Seizu leader, it seems that the Shiromatsu are on the verge of winning the war. However, the Seizu leader sends a young boy to the Shiromatsu headquarters with a message to end the war. He invites the Shiromatsu clan to fight in a neutral area without weapons. The Shiromatsu leader agrees and sends Nick and the other clan members to the docks to start the battle. Surprisingly, the Seizu chairman arrives with Orochi, who admits to betraying the Shiromatsu. The Shiromatsu leader, who had considered Orochi like his own child, forgives him and approaches, asking him to return to Shiromatsu before it's too late. As they embrace, Orochi stabs the Shiromatsu leader to death. The Shiromatsu members, surrounded by weapons, are unable to intervene and can only watch helplessly. Orochi then declares that the Shiromatsu clan is finished and offers his life if Nick leaves Miyu. Nick refuses Orochi's offer and prepares to attack, but a sniper shoots him in the leg. Meanwhile, the police raid and set fire to the Shiromatsu headquarters. That night, Nick sneaks into Miyu's home, guarded by the Seizu clan, intending to take her away. He then heads to the Seizu headquarters with the daisho sword given to him by Kiyoshi, boldly requesting permission from the Seizu clan to kill Orochi. After confronting Nick, Orochi throws the daisho sword back at him, stating that he won't fight Nick because he's just an outsider and will never truly be part of the Yakuza. In a sudden impulse, Nick decapitates Orochi with the sword. Unexpectedly, the Seizu clan leader stops another member who is about to shoot Nick. Instead, he tells Nick to go home, as he has avenged the Shiromatsu by killing Orochi. Nick complies and leaves the Seizu headquarters. The outsider ends with Nick arriving at the apartment where he's hidden Miyu. She embraces him tightly, and another Shiromatsu Yakuza guarding the apartment bow to Nick, indicating that he might be the next leader of the Shiromatsu clan.